I always thought betrayal would have a warning label. You know, those little red flags people talk about: suspicious texts, late nights, a sudden distance in her eyes. But with Emma, there was nothing. It was a clear blue sky until the sucker punch landed, leaving me gasping for air. We'd been together for 2 years, and my love for her was fierce, all-consuming. She was my adventure, my spontaneity. She loved planning these little surprises, these moments of magic just for me. So when she told me she'd booked us a weekend getaway at a stunning hotel downtown, I was ecstatic. I figured it was an early anniversary celebration, another one of her perfect, thoughtful gestures. I packed my bag, my heart doing this excited little flutter in my chest. I couldn't wait to see her. But when I walked into that grand hotel lobby, suitcase in hand, Emma wasn't there waiting for me. My eyes scanned the room, and then I saw it through the massive glass wall of the hotel bar. There she was. But she wasn't alone. Her arms were wrapped tightly around another woman, her head tilted back in a way I knew so well. I froze. My heart, which had been racing with excitement just moments before, began to thud painfully against my ribs. I watched, paralyzed, as she leaned in and kissed someone who wasn't me. Someone I'd never even seen before. It was like the world went silent. My stomach plummeted, and the glass wall between us suddenly felt like the cruelest metaphor imaginable. Me, on the outside, looking in at a truth I was never meant to discover. My first instinct was to storm in there, to scream, to shatter their perfect little bubble, and demand an explanation, but my legs wouldn't move. Instead, a quiet, cold wave washed over me. I turned and slipped away silently, my mind a chaotic whirlwind of shock and pain. The one person I thought of was Chloe, Emma's best friend. Our connection had always been ... different, a little flirty, a little charged, in a way Emma never seemed to notice. It was like this unspoken spark existed between us, waiting in the wings. In that moment, utterly broken and consumed by a fury I didn't recognize, I needed someone who would understand. I needed her. I pulled out my phone, my hands shaking, and dialed her number. She answered on the first ring. "What's wrong?" "You sound off," she said immediately, her voice sharp with concern. And then it all came tumbling out. The words spilled from my lips in a frantic, choked Rushta Hotel, the kiss, the gut-wrenching betrayal. There was a beat of silence on the other end of the line. And then she said, "Where are you?" "I'll come get you." When Chloe arrived, she didn't bombard me with questions or offer empty platitudes. She just looked at me, her eyes blazing with this fierce, protective fire, and pulled me into a hug. It wasn't a soft, comforting hug. It was grounding, solid, as if she was physically trying to hold all my shattered pieces together. "She doesn't deserve you," she whispered into my hair, her voice firm. "I've always known she wasn't enough for you." I pulled back, surprised by the intensity in her voice. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Chloe's eyes locked onto mine, burning with an emotion I'd seen hints of but had never dared to acknowledge. "You deserve someone who actually sees you," she said, her gaze unwavering. "Someone who wouldn't even dream of hurting you like this." In that moment, the air between us shifted. The entire dynamic changed. My heart, raw and aching from Emma's betrayal, found a strange sort of comfort, a safe harbor in her intense gaze. I don't know if it was anger or a desperate need for revenge, or something that had been quietly building between us all along. But when she leaned closer, her eyes searching mine, I didn't pull away. I didn't stop her. That night, Chloe and I ended up in a room at the very same hotel Emma had chosen for her secret rendezvous. And I'd be lying if I said a part of me wasn't fueled by spite. But it was more than that. It felt like I was reclaiming something that had been stolen from me. It was about finding my power again, feeling desired in the arms of someone who actually wanted me right there in that moment. Chloe wasn't hesitant or unsure. She was deliberate. Her touch was everything Emma's hadn't been recently: attentive, hungry, and sincere. For the first time in what felt like months, I felt seen. I felt wanted. Later, as we lay tangled in the crisp white sheets, the city lights twinkling outside the window, Chloe turned to me. "I know this is messy," she said softly, "but I've wanted you for so long, and I'm not sorry." I should have been drowning in guilt. I should have been consumed with shame for what I'd done. But lying there, all I felt was an overwhelming sense of relief. Relief that someone had finally chosen me, without hesitation, without a second thought. The next morning, my phone buzzed. It was Emma. Her voice was syrupy sweet, dripping with fake concern. "Hey, baby. Sorry I missed you last night. Want to come over today?" A bitter laugh escaped my lips. "I saw you." "Emma," I said, my voice cold and steady. "At the hotel with her." The silence on the other end was deafening, followed by a torrent of panicked stammers and pathetic excuses. I cut her off. "Don't bother. I wasn't alone last night either." And then I hung up. Looking back, maybe I didn't handle it in the healthiest way. Maybe sleeping with her best friend wasn't the noblest path to take. But betrayal does something to you. It fractures your reality and demands a response, any response, to feel like you're still in control. But Chloe wasn't just about revenge. She became the person who helped me pick up the pieces. She was the one who held me up when I felt like crumbling, who relentlessly reminded me of my own worth when I had forgotten it. What began in a blaze of fury and hurt slowly transformed into something real, something genuine, something Emma could never touch or ruin. Sometimes heartbreak doesn't just break you. It cracks you wide open, creating space for someone better to walk in. And in my case, Chloe walked right in. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It's a messy one, I know, but it's real. If you've ever been through something similar, I see you. Don't forget to hit that like button if this resonated with you, and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.